When Caleb moved into the house, the real estate listing mentioned a unique architectural feature in the lower level. He assumed that meant a weird closet. It didn't. The house sat at the end of a narrow road, tucked behind a line of dying trees that never quite lost their leaves. Even in early spring, they clung to a brittle, brown stillness. The previous owner had left in a hurry. No forwarding address, no explanation. Just keys in a lockbox and a signed deed. The first week felt normal enough. Too normal. No creaks at night. No shifting pipes. No hum of distant traffic. Silence, but not the comforting kind. It felt maintained, like something was actively keeping the noise down. It wasn't until the sixth night that Caleb found the door. He'd gone into the basement to reset a breaker. The light switch at the top of the stairs flickered twice before turning on, revealing concrete walls painted a flat, unfinished gray. The air smelled faintly metallic, like old coins. He noticed the door immediately because it didn't match anything else. It was set into the far wall, taller than standard, narrow, with no handle. Just a smooth wooden surface and a small, circular indentation where a knob should have been. The wood looked newer than the house itself, pale and unaged, like it had been installed recently. He walked over and pressed his fingers into the indentation. Nothing. No click. No shift. Probably sealed, he muttered. He turned to leave. That's when he heard the knock. 3 soft taps, from the other side. Caleb froze. He stood there, one hand still hovering near the indentation, listening, waiting. Nothing followed. No footsteps, no voice. Just silence again. He told himself it was the pipes, or the house settling, or something small trapped in the wall. He didn't go back down that night. The next morning, the door was gone. Same wall, same stretch of concrete, no outline, no frame, no sign anything had ever been there. Caleb stared at the spot for a long time, running his hand across the wall. Solid, cold, unbroken. Okay, he whispered. Okay. He laughed a little, nervous, forced. Dreaming, he decided. Just a dream. But that night, he kept the basement light on. It came back 2 days later. This time, he didn't find it by accident. He heard it first. 3 knocks. Soft. Patient. From below. Caleb was in the kitchen when it happened. He stopped mid-step, heart kicking hard against his ribs. The basement light was off. He hadn't touched it since the night he'd dreamed the door. The knocks came again. Exactly the same. 3. Evenly spaced. Waiting. Caleb stood there for a long moment, then slowly walked toward the basement door. He didn't want to. Every instinct told him not to. But something else, something quieter, pulled him forward. Curiosity. Or recognition. He opened the basement door. Darkness stretched down the stairs, and at the bottom, the door. Back again. Exactly where it had been. This time, it looked older. The wood wasn't pale anymore. It had darkened, veins of something like rot threading through the grain. The indentation seemed deeper, worn down as if someone had been using it repeatedly. Caleb descended the steps slowly. The air was colder now, thicker. He stopped a few feet away. "Hello?" he called. Nothing. Then, a faint sound. Not a knock this time, a breath. Right on the other side. Close. Too close. Caleb stepped back. Every part of him screamed to leave, but his hand lifted anyway, moving toward the indentation like it belonged there. Like he'd done this before. He pressed his fingers in. This time, it moved. A soft, internal click. The door opened inward, just a few inches. Enough for darkness to spill out, not the absence of light. Something heavier, denser. Caleb stumbled back as a smell hit him. Damp, stale, like a room sealed too long, or a place that wasn't meant to be opened at all. "Don't," a voice whispered. It came from behind him. Caleb spun around. No one there. The stairs, the open basement door, the empty house. He turned back. The door was still slightly open, and something inside shifted, not moving forward, just adjusting. Like it had been waiting. He slammed it shut, hard. The click echoed through the basement. The knocking stopped. Caleb didn't sleep that night, or the next, or the one after that, because the knocking came back, not every night, not at regular intervals, but always 3 times, always from below, And always when he wasn't thinking about it. It never happened when he stood at the top of the stairs, waiting. Only when he relaxed, only when he forgot, like it knew. He started noticing other things, small things. His phone would sometimes show photos he didn't remember taking, blurry shots of the basement stairs, always from halfway down, always angled toward where the door should be. But in the photos, the door was wider, more open, and something was always just inside. Never clear, just a shape, too tall, too still. One afternoon, Caleb found footprints, leading up from the basement, wet, dark. They stopped at his bedroom door, which was closed, from the inside. That night, he decided he was done. No more ignoring it. No more pretending. He grabbed a flashlight, a hammer, and went down the stairs. The basement light flickered on immediately this time. No delay, no hesitation, like it had been waiting for him. The door was already there, fully formed, fully visible, and slightly open. A narrow gap. Breathing darkness. The smell was stronger now, almost unbearable. Caleb approached slowly. His flashlight beam shook as it hit the opening. It didn't go far. The light seemed to get absorbed, swallowed before it could reach anything solid. "Who's there?" he asked. No answer. Then, a knock. From inside the open space. 3 times, but closer, right at the edge. Caleb swallowed hard. "You've been knocking," he said. "What do you want?" For a moment, nothing. Then, a voice, his voice, from inside. "I want to come back." Caleb's blood ran cold. "No," he whispered. The thing inside shifted again, closer. "I didn't mean to stay," it said, still in his voice, but wrong somehow, flattened, stretched thin. "You left me." "I didn't leave anything," Caleb said, backing up. "You closed the door," it replied. The gap widened slightly, not by movement, by something pulling it open from within. The darkness inside deepened. "You weren't supposed to forget," it said. Caleb shook his head violently. "I don't know what you're talking about." The voice paused, then softened, almost gentle. "That's okay," it said. "You will." The flashlight flickered. For a split second, the beam reached inside, and Caleb saw it. A room, almost identical to his basement, but older, rotting. The walls bowed inward, the floor sagged, and in the center, someone standing, facing him, perfectly still. Same height, same build, same face. Caleb screamed and stumbled backward. The light snapped back to normal. The door slammed shut. The basement went silent. The next morning, the door was gone again. The wall was empty, smooth, unbroken. Caleb packed his things that day. He didn't hesitate, didn't question. He left the house by noon, didn't look back, didn't stop driving until the trees were gone. The road widened, and the silence finally broke. 3 weeks later, in his new apartment, Caleb woke up to a sound. Soft, familiar. From the other side of his bedroom wall. 3 knocks, evenly spaced, waiting. Caleb sat up slowly, staring at the wall. His reflection stared back at him from the dark window across the room. But it didn't move when he did, and just before the knocking came again, it smiled.